When it comes to understanding where your credit stands, half of the work seems to be to really understand what all the credit terms actually mean. Well, my name is Lisbeth, and today I'm giving you a crash course on credit terminology. I do talk pretty fast, so try to keep up. Just kidding. I am trying to define all of these terms in the simplest way possible, so if at any point one of them doesn't quite make sense, then just leave a comment down below because I'm sure you wouldn't be the only one, and I will try to clarify it better in the comment section for you. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's get this started. First up is your credit score or your FICO score. They're both the same thing because it is your overall credit score using the FICO system. Now, I know FICO stands for something, but we're not gonna worry about that. This is pretty much that big number that everybody talks about when it comes to your credit. The higher the credit score or FICO score, the more likely you are to get approved for different loans or credit cards, and the lower the interest rate is if you're applying for a bigger loan like an auto loan or home loan, personal loan, so on and so forth. I review some of my favorite credit apps in a previous video, and I will link it for you above in case you're looking for something like that. Next up is your credit report. Your credit score would be something like your GPA. Your credit report would be something like your report card. Get it? I like that analogy. I just came up with that. So your credit report pretty much just tells you and breaks down everything that makes up your credit score, all the accounts that you have open, any credit cards, any loans, any previous credit cards, previous loans that has pretty much gone under your social security number. So you are allowed one credit report per credit bureau per year. Keeping track of your credit reports are just as important as keeping track of your credit score, because if there's something wrong with your credit score, the credit report is going to tell you exactly what it is. Then we have the credit bureaus or credit agencies, which are Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. These are the three different bureaus that the people who lend you money will report to, saying if you're paying your bills on time or if you're not. So these are the people that take in that information and, using the FICO system, come up with a credit score. Now, different lenders will ask the different agencies what their credit score for you is, and that is what they use to make their decision. For some reason, we need 3 different agencies to come up with a credit score. All of them should be pretty relatively the same or close. So if any one of them at any point is crazy off of the charts, then they probably have something wrong on their credit report for your name. So now that we have the basics as to what a credit score, credit report, and a credit bureau is, let's move on to what's actually in your credit report. On your credit report, you will find things like your hard inquiries and soft inquiries. Anytime anyone looks up your social security number as far as how it relates to your credit, it is considered an inquiry on your account. A soft inquiry won't actually affect your credit score. Anybody who is going to do a hard inquiry, which will affect your credit, has to tell you that they will be running a credit check. This is because it hurts your credit score. So they have to let you know that they're going to run your credit. Anytime you have to give your social security number in an application of some sort, make sure you ask if they are going to do a soft inquiry or a hard inquiry and determine if it is needed for whatever reason you put in an application for. Remember, a soft inquiry won't affect your credit, a hard inquiry will. Other things on your credit report will be your available credit and your credit limits. Every month, a credit card company or a loan company will report to the credit bureaus and will tell them how much money you have spent on a credit card versus how much money you have available on your credit card. And both of those numbers will be reported on there in order to calculate your credit utilization ratio or your debt to limit ratio. This is pretty much a percentage of how much you are using versus how much you have available to use. The lower the number, the better. I've also mentioned this in a previous video, and I will link it for you above. Now, don't get the credit utilization ratio and debt to limit ratio confused with debt to income ratio. The debt to income ratio is talking about how much debt you have to pay monthly compared to the income that you're bringing in before taxes. You also want that number to be lower because it's saying that you don't have as much debt to pay every month compared to the money you're bringing in from home, which means you have more money available to spend on whatever else you're applying for. So keeping those ratios down, no matter what kind of ratio it is definitely a good thing. Another thing that will also show on your credit report is if you have a zero balance on any of your credit cards. Of course, it'll show that you're using 0% of what you have available. That helps your overall credit utilization ratio. So all of those numbers that go into your credit report say some pretty sizable things about who you are as a borrower. Different lenders have different ways that they come up with who they're going to borrow to, how much they're going to let that person borrow, and at what interest rate they're going to let you borrow as well. Some places have something called the risk-based pricing, which just pretty much means that the higher you are of a risk, the higher the price is going to be. This can be in terms of the actual price or more than likely in terms of your interest rate. So in overall terms, the lower your credit score is, the higher of a risk you are, the higher interest rate you will have on whatever it is that they lend you. Another thing that lenders will use is a qualifying ratio, which pretty much means that based on your credit utilization ratio and your debt to income ratio, they have a specific threshold that they're willing to lend to. You know, maybe it's everybody who has a 40% debt to income ratio. Those are the people we will approve for. If you have anything higher than that, then you're automatically denied. Lastly, the thing that you want to be known as is a prime borrower, or the thing you want to have is prime credit. If you're a prime borrower or you have a prime credit score, then this just means that you're a really good candidate to apply for anything and more than likely get approved. So prime borrower or prime credit score status is what you are aiming for. This will get you the lowest rates, the best deals, which in turn means more money in your pocket because you're not giving it to somebody else. There it is. Those are the terms to get you started with credit and understanding it a little bit better. If you need any clarification on any particular term, please leave it in the comments below and I will try my best to do that for you. I know I went through them pretty fast, although they might have sounded good in my head, maybe they didn't translate as well to you, and that's totally cool. Just leave me a comment down below. Understanding how credit works and how you can make it work for you is so important. Overall, what it's really doing, what you're really setting yourself up for, is to save the most money. The less money that you give to other people in interest, the more money you get to keep in your pocket to do whatever else you want to do with it. I hope you found this helpful in some way, shape, or form. And if you have any other recommendations when it comes to credit, please let me know. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to y'all next time. Bye.